Hey guys, today's log is gonna be about saving the game and partially about animation and where I want to go with the game. So, there's been a question in the comments, very good question, and that's about saving. Saving is kinda pain in the ass if you want to keep older saves working in newer versions of the game, and that's exactly what I'm not doing. I'm just simply staying in one version and older saves are not gonna be working. Well, at best they are gonna be working, but you're gonna be missing some stuff or weird stuff is gonna happen. So the simplest way to save the game is implementing serializable interface. What this enables you is you can later down the road, you can output the file as a byte stream. So the whole class is gonna be transformed into a byte stream, which is gonna be saved into this file here. That's just my example what I'm doing, and you can see what I'm actually saving. It's easier to see here. So I'm using this class to save all the stuff from the game. So in order to preserve the state of the game, you need to know what you're actually working with and what you need to save and what you don't need to save. So I have started, when I was working on it, I have started simple. I have started with just all the objects in the game. In order to save all the objects in the game, of course, I need to implement the serializable interface, and that's pretty much it. Then you can save the file or save the whole list into a file, and then you can read it back into the game or load it back into the game and apply the save file like this. You just say you stop using the old list of objects and start using this new one, and it works pretty well, except for versions. Versions are real pain in the ass. I've probably said that before, because in order to handle versions, you need to add to your classes that implement the or are used for saving. You need to add serial version UID, because that's like an ID that's used when you're saving the game, and it's kinda an indicator what class you're working with exactly. So in order to support older versions, you need to know which class is which, so you can actually like force them, or I think the best way to read up on more advanced stuff about this is to read through the Effective Java, the second edition, and there's a whole section on serialization, which is exactly about this problem. So about the ID, let's just skip that. Just one thing to note: if you don't supply the ID, your class will generate it itself. So that's the issue there. Sometimes those classes will change. Their ID is dependent on the inside of the class, like everything that's there. So even a minor change will change the ID, and that's gonna break the support of older versions, I guess. One thing to solve that, except for the using IDs and hoping for the best, is there's been a tip not to change types of variables, not to, I think, change method variables, and yeah. Another tip that was mentioned in some Stack Overflow comment, I guess, was you can implement a method or override a method that's gonna enable you to do the transforming to the byte stream manually. So you can actually specify in that method what exactly is gonna go where. So you can like build the save file for that object yourself, so you can easily recreate the object yourself. So you're actually handling all the ends, and that will enable you to support older versions, and you can handle everything like that. It's pretty difficult to implement in a already set up project because it's a lot of code and a lot of thinking. You need to know what exactly you're saving, where exactly you're saving it, and it's a lot of stuff. So that's why I didn't go there, because it will take a lot of time, and what I wanted to do is just to learn about saving and preserving the current state of the game. That's all what I wanted to do, because as I mentioned before, this project is about learning, not the game itself. So I just wanted to know how to do stuff. I have read on the advanced stuff, so I know how to, I guess I know how to implement the version support, but I'm not gonna go there. I have seen how much pain it is, and nope. Alright, that's saving. And about animations, I've been thinking about that for a long time, and it's pretty similar to the save file, because it's painful as well. Right now, what I'd like to see in the game is animation for everything, but I need to be realistic. My skills are limited, and the best I could do was make this simple walking animation, and I had to follow a tutorial on it. So, well, I actually did the bunny, but it feels like the bunny is just a like paper twitching in the air or whatever. So, what I've been thinking about, instead of making the whole character move, because that will be real painful, you need to think about armor on the character. So the armor would move with you when you're like chopping down a tree or whatever. Now I understand why Project Zomboid doesn't have any armor, because it will be painful to animate. They're actually using 3D models to do the animations, as they feel more realistic there. At least they went with the more realistic approach, and it actually feels pretty good in the playing the game. Back to this project. So I came up with this idea. I remembered from older games that when you're doing stuff, there's an animation that appears like on top of the object you're using, and it's gonna be like a small piece of log, and there's gonna be an axe that's chopping the log. I think I've seen that in Haven actually, and that's pretty good idea. I'm not saying it's what I'd like to see in the game, but that's probably the best I can do for action animations right now. Later on, if I'm more comfortable with animations, I'll go for real stuff, like the character will be chopping the tree, and you could see, well, it could be actually pretty difficult, because you can actually chop the tree from this far, I guess. Yeah, all the distances will need to change. Never mind. So that's my idea about animations, and I'll probably go with that, because it's easier, and I'll probably be able to handle it. It's actually pretty easy to do animations with not living stuff, but all the living stuff is a real pain. Alright, 10 minutes, that's a good time. See ya guys next time.